Okay, so now we're going to start the next part 2 section, which I'm calling questions, word problems, and exponential growth. All right, so we take a look at this first question, and it says Rhonda deposited $3,000 in an account. She's earning 4.2% interest compounded annually. She made no deposits or withdrawals. Write an equation that can be used to find B, her account balance. All right, so we talked about this the other day. Remember the regular equation that we're going to use, and we need to understand this, so I'm going to give it to you again. A of t is equal to, we're going to put amount here, and then this is going to be multiplied by 1 plus or minus either the interest or the charge. Okay, so I'm going to kind of leave that there, raised to the t, and this is going to be time. All right, here's the things that we have to know. If the amount in the problem should be going up, we're going to use 1 plus. If the amount is going to go down, we use 1 minus. This must be written as a decimal. Okay, so that's everything in the problem that we're going to need to know. So, in this case, we're looking for the account balance. We're looking to find B. So it's going to be B of t, if you don't mind me using function notation. You can also say just B. The amount. Well, the amount invested, or the amount that we started with, is $3,000. That's going to be multiplied by, now, what do you think? She deposited $3,000 and she's earning. So are we going up or are we going down? So the amount is going up, so we're going to use 1 plus. Okay? 1 plus what? The interest rate, 4.2%, but we have to write this as a decimal. So how do we write 4.2% as a decimal? We drop the percent symbol and we move the decimal place over 2 places. I'll write the equation that can be used to find in her account after t years. So we don't know what t is, so we're going to leave that as a variable. So now if I kind of put this together, B of t is going to equal 3,000 times 1.042 raised to the t. Answer. Next, we have Guy and Jim. We have Guy and Jim work at a furniture store. Guy is paid $185 per week, plus 3% of his total sales in dollars X, which can be represented. So you don't have to worry about all that. They did it for you. Then it says Jim is paid $275 a week, plus 2.5% of his total sales. And this is represented by, well, guess what? We know that. Determine the value of X in dollars that will make their weekly pay the same. So we want their weekly pay the same. Guys, this here represents their weekly pay. So what we want is we want Guy basically to equal Jim. Well, what is Guy's weekly pay? Guy's weekly pay is $185 plus 0.03x. And we want that to equal Jim's pay. Well, what's Jim's pay? That's f of x. That's $275 plus 0.025x. We want to know when those two equations are going to be the same. This is regular, solving a regular linear equation. And I'm going to bring my calculator in to help me with some of the calculations. All right. We'll move that down there, I guess. All right, so now I want to get x by itself. So if you want to get x by itself, I'm going to find out which one's the larger x value. That's right here. I'm going to leave it alone. So I'm going to bring the other one over. It's a positive, so I'm going to minus 0.025x, minus 0.025x. You can draw your line. All right. This is 185 plus, and you can do it on the calculator. What do we got? We got 0.03 minus 0.025 equals, I'm at 0.005 x, okay, equals 275. Well, now my x is on the left-hand side. I want to move it over to the right-hand side. So I'm going to leave the x here. I'm going to move everything else away from it. So I'm going to isolate it by getting rid of that 185. So now I have 0.005x is equal to, and again with your calculator, 275 minus 185 equals, and I'm down to 90. So if you don't mind, I'm going to come up to here. I have 0.005x is equal to 90. Well, how do I get x by itself? Well, I'm going to divide by 0.005. Divide this side by 0.005. So x is going to equal, and I have 90 divided by 0.005 equals 18,000. Okay? Next piece. The breakdown says in the next question, the breakdown of a sample of chemical compound is represented by, we have P of T is equal to 300 times 0.5 T, where P of T represents the number of milligrams of a substance and T represents the time in years. In the function P of T, explain what 0.5 and 300 represent. We have 300, and what 300 is going to represent is it's going to represent our starting amount, but it's going to be our starting amount of what? It's a breakdown of a sample of a chemical compound. So 300 is going to be the amount of the chemical compound. The amount of the chemical compound in the problem. We have to also explain 0.05. 0.05 is going to be the rate at which the compound is diminished by. Getting smaller. Okay.